Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Need for Speed World UK podcast. I'm your host, Supercar575. Right, you're going to have to forgive me for this one, because it's been a while since I've done something Need for Speed World related, so you're going to have to bear with me. Obviously, as you know, 2 weeks ago I did the E3 2013 special, where I just focused on what I thought of certain things at E3. But I'm going to kind of focus on a particular subject, and a kind of subject that's close to me, and that's the racing games of E3 2013. That I will get onto later on, but let's start off with the usual biz. Let's talk about some news at Need for Speed World. Any new releases? Well, there's a new Ford F-150 SVT Raptor called the Rex Drag Edition. I've forgotten the cost of it, unfortunately, but I already own the Raptor, and I will tell you, it's going to be, I know it's going to be a heavy beast, because, come on, it's the Ford Raptor. It's big, it's brash, it's out there. It's painted yellow, it's lowered, it's got a body kit on it, but I'll be honest, you can actually replicate this in your own way. So, but if you're looking for a decent drag truck, there you go, the Ford F-150 SVT Raptor. Now, you may have noticed the way I delivered this piece of news this time is because I'm merely giving my own opinion on things, and that's the leaf I'm taking from the special podcast that I did 2 weeks ago. The other latest released, oh boy, is the Audi A3. At last, the A3 is in Need for Speed World, and it's crap. I'm sorry. I am really sorry. It is diabolical. It's 5,000 boost. It has the acceleration of a D-class. In fact, I've seen D-class cars accelerate quicker than this does. I've seen S-class. Even seen some S-class cars cheaper than this. They also look more exciting. In fact, if you have bought this car, I'm sorry, you have just wasted 1,000. You have just wasted 5,100 boost. Because if you think about it, for less than that, you can pick up the Ford Capri. Or most. In fact, I made a list of about 43 different cars that were in the game, all cost less than 5,000 boost. Some of which were even in-game cash cars, and they were better. So, if you were looking for a B-class competitor, please look elsewhere. But if you don't have a brain, unfortunately, Audi A3 for you. There it is. Okay, there's also another bit of, not so much news really, but in one of the recent patches in Need for Speed World, there was a slight bug issue, and this one I'm actually going to read the official statement from the website. It was about the Infinite Porsche Cayman and Dodge Charger. After a recent update on, I can't remember the date, in the evening, a bug arose that allowed players to claim an unlimited number of Porsche Caymans and Dodge Chargers. As this was a bug, we implore you not to abuse it. For your own sake, this will fall under bug abuse, which is covered by terms of service, and you will be risking a permanent ban on your account. Well, I can update you on this. The ban hammer has taken effect and has banned more than 2,000 accounts. These accounts were only banned because they abused the bug. If you say claimed 2, 3, then you're fine. You're covered. You won't be banned at all. But if you've got like 200 of these cars, then that is abuse. And you're banned for it. Simple as that. I don't know how I feel upon this, to be honest with you, but I don't know whether to be on the side of the player who got banned or on the side of the developers. I'm more siding to the developers on this case, but unfortunately this is my opinion, so if you do violate terms of service, you violate terms of service, you'll suffer the consequences for it. It's called karma. It bitch slaps you in this case. So, unfortunately, I don't really have much sympathy for most of the players who abused the bug. This is, as I said, purely my opinion. I know this is, and again, this is more personal, if I will say. I didn't abuse the bug myself because I couldn't abuse the bug because there were no gift cards there. So at the time, I obviously couldn't perform that issue. Right, I believe that's covered everything I need for Speed World. I'm sorry for my brash attitude in this case. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry for my brash attitude this time because I've just learned how to do a proper podcast this time. Instead of me just reading out the news items, you're just going to hear what I think of certain things. And I think that's a better way. But also, I still want to hear your opinions as well. So if you've got opinions, please let me know. Just comment down below and comment wherever I put this video. Okie doke. Now, on to the main discussion. I'm going to focus on other racing games as well, not just Need for Speed World from this point. And it's the racing games that debuted at E3 2013. And I will say, out of all the lineup, I've seen quite an impressive lineup. I tell you, we're gonna kick things off with the current generation, not Xbox One or PlayStation 4. I'm going to look at Gran Turismo 6. Now, obviously, the Gran Turismo 6 was announced just before Forza Motorsport 5, which I'll get onto in a minute. But I think this is still a good thing. Because I feel that Gran Turismo 6 is going to be their swan song, their last hurrah for the PlayStation 3. And from what I can see in the screenshots here, I mean, right now I'm looking at a Ferrari Dino. And the amount of detail that the guys have put in Uplifted Digital, I've got to doff my cap to them because they've done an absolute stellar job. I mean, you can still see the detail in just the headlight clusters. And, well, it is, according to Kazunori Yamaguchi, they are pushing the PlayStation 3 to its absolute limits. They're giving their series on the PS3 one last hurrah, and they have achieved it with GT6. This one is a game that I'm thoroughly looking forward to when it gets released later this year, and in fact, on the 2nd of July, there will be a Gran Turismo 6 demo, and you can download that for free on the PlayStation Store from the 2nd of July. This will also coincide with the GT Academy. Now, if you're in one of the GT Academy regions, you will be able to take part in this event to become a real racing driver. Well, that's Gran Turismo 6. Unfortunately, there wasn't much coverage, but a lot of people were able to get their hands on it. And obviously, I couldn't get to go to E3 myself because I was working at the time. So now I think it's best we move on to what's coming up for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and straight away I'm going to kick off with Gran Turismo's rival, Forza Motorsport 5. I'm not going to beat about a bush with this one. It looks epic. Trust me, I've only seen one screenshot at the moment, but I have seen I've even seen some gameplay. But the amount of detail that's gone into what I'm looking at here, the McLaren P1, which is exclusive to Forza 5, and of course Need for Speed Rivals, which I'll also get onto. But I'm just looking at it and I can't believe that a racing game could look like this. I'm not. My mind has literally just blown up when I first seen it. There's so much realism in what I can see in terms of the graphic engine. They are really pushing the power of the Xbox One here. And obviously, speaking of Xbox One, I take you've all heard about the recent turnaround with their DRM restrictions. You can now share this with your friends if you want to. It's kind of changed my mind on Xbox One a little bit, but I'm not sure if I'll still get one though, because at the moment it's still too expensive. You still need Kinect, and I don't have the space for it. But I'm seriously looking forward to some of the games that are going to be released this year, especially on Xbox One. Even Forza 5. I mean, oh god, I'm just digressing. I do apologise. I'm really digressing here. Now, the next game I want to talk about is one that I'm actually going to be getting when PlayStation 4 is released. That is Drive Club. Now, Drive Club, for those who don't know, it's kind of like a Grid 2 rival. It's on the balance of sim and arcade in terms of the handling model, and I have seen gameplay, and it's early days for me at the moment. I think this. Don't get me wrong. The social aspect, where you can set up races, even if you're not on your PS4, is absolutely brilliant. I like the idea of saying, oh yeah, we can have such and such a race, such and such a time, and off we go. And people will be racing, and then you can check your progress afterwards. In terms of the graphics, they are. I'm not sure. This is still early days for me, but I will admit they do look really, really good in my eyes. Some people weren't so sure about it, but I quite like the idea. I quite like the idea of driving around in really exotic cars, round real world locations. Especially one of the tracks that was demonstrated at E3 was Kinloch in Scotland, and they captured the whole scene, the whole scenery, just perfectly. Not so much perfectly, but just excellently. Just it looked absolutely exquisite. It had a certain charm to it, I think. It's just one that I've just got to wait and see, really. And well, okay, next one. We're in Need for Speed territory here, so of course I'm going to talk about Need for Speed Rivals. It runs on the Frostbite 3. Need I say anymore? But I'm absolutely staggered of how much detail they've put into this one. I'm actually looking forward to their absolute seamless ability with all drive, because from when I saw the gameplay demo, it started off with Craig Sullivan from Criterion as a racer in a Ferrari, an F12, and I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to Ferrari coming back, and I can't remember his name, but he was from Ghost Studios, who are the guys developing Need for Speed Rivals, who played a cop in a Koenigsegg Agera R. And the seamlessness of how they joined the game together, I like that idea where there's a much more seamless environment in online aspects. It's called All Drive, by the way. I'm seriously looking forward to that aspect. I like the idea of, instead of waiting for a game, you're in a game straight away. And of course, it running on Frostbite 3. Oh my god! Right, let me have a look. Now this one is an interesting one for me. The Crew. This one's developed by Ubisoft, and this actually holds a really interesting, unique selling point. The way you can customize your cars for certain event types. I like the idea, because you can take a Chevy Camaro and you can turn it into a raid car or a street racer or a drag racer. You can customize them in different ways you wish. But again, it is aimed at a more social audience with online and so on, where you can actually set up your own crew and take down rival crews. And there's so many different crews in the whole of the United States. According to what I'm reading here, that some people think it's going to be a spiritual successor to Test Drive. I'm not so sure, because I don't remember seeing Test Drive Unlimited, or Test Drive Unlimited 2 for that matter, with this level of customization. But I'm looking again. I'm not too sure about it at first, but I'm actually looking forward to actually seeing more of it in the future. It won't be released until 2014, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I quite like the idea of that social aspect. They're the ones that I can see here. I know there's more. They're including Mario Kart. The next Mario Kart. It's going to be called Mario Kart 8, if you're interested. But I'm not too keen on the Mario Kart series myself. I know I've played it before, and I do like it, but I would not really buy it straight away. Again, that's just my opinion, unfortunately. Right. I believe that's covered a lot of the racing games aspect. But what about other games? What about other ones that would actually really capture my interest? I don't know. I mean, in terms of actual other games that are going to be released, I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, but that's only because I'll be getting it for my brother for Christmas, as I've always done that, and I've never let him down since. So yeah, I mean, I've been really, oh boy. I'm gonna be honest about this podcast, guys. I kind of flustered this one, and all you just heard is me just rambling on for about 15 minutes. I think, I might get a bit boring later. I don't know at all. But I don't really do this just because I just want to make something for YouTube. I do it because I enjoy it. I enjoy talking quite a lot. Not because I don't like the sound of my own voice, to be honest, because you can hear I stammer and stutter a lot, and I just like expressing my opinion on a certain thing. But as I said, I still want to hear yours. So if you've got an opinion of a particular game that you really enjoyed at E3, and you want to tell me about it, please just comment down below. Do all the usual. And in fact, any discussions in Need for Speed World related news, if you want to tell me about them, again, please, just go for it. Go mad with what you want to say. Sorry. Where did that come from? Oh dear. Anyway, I think that just about wraps up this rather strange podcast, if I might say so myself. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know, but oh well, it's worth a shot, I suppose. So, with that, I'm be signing off. So, this has been Supercar 575, and you've been listening to the Need for Speed World UK podcast. Thanks very much for listening, guys. I will see you in 2 weeks' time.